and welcome back, Fire Addicts, to another episode of Trial Source Fire. Today, I was wrong. Right, so we're at the top of my driveway, the firewood stand, and we got a load of firewood in the lawn tractor trailer. Now, I got a ping last night from a customer. I believe he messaged me last summer wanting firewood, and we had a good interaction. So he found me on his marketplace app, whatever, from last summer, and he ordered 3 racks of wood, which is more or less 90 sticks of firewood. 90 sticks. So this is a mix of softwood right here in the trailer. Now, I appreciate when people give me a heads up. People don't have to. This whole firewood stand here is self-service. People come, they take their firewood, they pay, and they go. As easy as that. But I want to make sure that I have enough inventory in the firewood stand. Obviously, right now, I'm lacking 1 rack right here. I could probably add a few more bags of firewood. I'm sold out of my bun firewood rack right here. And then I have some kindling. So I like it when folks message me ahead of time to let me know what they're gonna come and get, so I have inventory here, or they tell me, hey, I have a unique order. This order here of 2 racks of wood, or sorry, 3 racks of wood. 3 is a very unique order. People don't usually buy that much bulk from the firewood stand. So, but if this person had not messaged me, he would have taken only, if I had both racks here, 1 rack, 2 rack, then I would have been cleaned out. Whereas I can prepare a special order for the customer, bring it up right here, and then take a picture of it and say, hey, this is your order, this is your order, this is ready to go, rock and roll. And what I told it is I'll cover it. If people go to the stand and they buy firewood, but if the stand is in a wheelbarrow or in my lawn tractor trailer here, they're not going to touch it, especially if I cover it. Now I'm going to cover it with this mesh tarp right here. Now it's not going to rain at all. It's just the tarp is to cover this after I take and send them a photo, the customer, and then that way people who come to the stand between now and when the customer takes their wood, there's not going to be any confusion. The wood over there's for sale at the firewood stand, that's for sale, and whatever's here it's a question mark. Most people would not touch it. Now this customer has maybe one other person going to take from this, so he already paid for it. He prepaid for it, but he can't take all of this wood in his vehicle. So he has a friend or friends coming either before or after he picks up the wood to take the balance. So it's easier. So in this situation, it's easier to say, hey, your order is paid for is here. You come, your friends, your family, your uncle's neighbor, whoever's gonna come, they take from this pile only, and then we're good to go, rock and roll. So I just wanted to share with that. If you sell firewood, especially small quantities, and people come to pick up, that's one way to make sure that everything is clear, is transparent, is easy peasy, to make sure that it's good on your end, good on their end. So always clear. So there's no headache. Less headache is what we want. Is what we want here. So just a quick intro before we get into what I want to talk about, which is definitely not that subject. But I'm going to cover this up, take a picture, and I'll be right back with you now. So, like I said in the intro, in my last episode, I was wrong. And a few of you, if you're still watching or still subscribed to the channel, pointed that out. And like I said on the episode, if I'm wrong, I'm okay with that. Just let me know. Because as a YouTube creator, I'm only human. Okay, I'm not a genius. I don't know everything. I'm probably the most educated creator in terms of YouTube genre out there. Not to pat myself in the back, but I'm just saying. But we all make mistakes, and it takes a real person to ante up and admit them, and then correct them. So we're gonna correct this right now. This jig here is not 1 cubic foot of volume. This jig does not create 1 cubic foot I was wrong, okay? I was wrong. I admit that. So we're gonna go into how and why. So I measured, and you saw me measure this. This here is 12 inches. This here is 12 inches. This here is 12 inches, and it's duplicated on the other side. So we got 12 inches, 12 inches, 12 inches, a foot by foot. And I've been using this for several years, like maybe like 3-4 years. I've been using this. And I thought that my math and my logic behind it made sense. But I was wrong, okay? What I didn't account for is this. This here. This is the length, okay? This is the length. Okay, hang on. You see behind me, I got a bunch of fur that I'm still dealing with. I can't really do anything right now because I'm still recovering from surgery. But this is still in the background, so, and it's sunny outside, so we're in the sun. So this piece here, this piece of firewood here, this is for my firewood rack wood, fir wood here, and it's exactly at 16 inches, okay? Let's check this out. So you can see this, measure this out, exactly at 16 inches. I don't know if you see that or not, but it is. Okay, it's 16. So what I have here is this firewood goes in the jig like this, right? Okay. So this plane may be 12 inches, duplicated here, here, here. This plane is 12 inches, duplicated on the other side, but it's not 12 inches here. If the firewood was at 12 inches, yes, 12, 12, 12. Three planes, an x-axis, y, and a z, right? And this would be a 12. But standard uniform length pieces of firewood, at least in the US and probably Canada and elsewhere, it's going to be 16 inches. Okay, so it's what I have here is more. I have here with more than 1 cubic foot because it is 12, 12, and 16. That's more than 1 cubic foot of firewood. So I've been selling more than 1 cubic foot of firewood for $5 a bundle. I've been selling more than 1 cubic foot of bagged firewood for $6 for a while now. Now, is it a bad thing? No. I want my customers to get value. I want my customers to come to me. I don't want my customers to go to the local gas station, to the local hardware store, co-op, wherever else you can buy your firewood. I want them to come to me, and they come to me because they know that it's good service, it's friendly, it's good firewood, and it's good quality. Okay, and I think that they have definitely gotten a bargain, getting more than 1 cubic foot of firewood for that $5, $6 range. So did I lose out on money? Probably. Did I lose out on firewood by way of money? Yeah, I did. But there's nothing I don't think I would change, but as of yet. But as I say that, I may change this jig around. I may change it to be an actual cubic foot, and my customers may complain, but if I say in the ad I'm selling 1 cubic foot, but really I'm selling more, well then I'm not being truthful, I'm not being honest. So do I go backwards? Do I give less wood? I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comments. Now, if this visual is not working for you, I know I'm a visual person. Let me show you this thought process, but in more of a visual way right now. All right, so on the table here, I have blocks, and they're all cut up. So we have 3 rows here to equate to each plane of the jig box. So this would be x-axis, this would be y-axis, this would be z. So for example, this would be the horizontal plane at 12 inches. This would be the height plane, and this would be the width. So height, length, width, or so there's 3 of them, right? And each of these planes have 12 blocks to represent 12 inches. So each block is 1 inch, 12 inches, 12 inches, and 12 inches. This is what I'm demonstrating as 1 cubic foot of firewood, 12, 12, 12, 1, 1, 1, 1 cubic foot of firewood. So I hope this makes sense. So if we have one plane being the width being 12, okay, one plane being the height at 12, but this plane here is at 12, but this needs to be 16. Okay, it needs to be 16. So what do? We don't want to add extra blocks. We have to take blocks from the other plane. Now, the width should stay the same. That should be fine. So we can play with the width or the height. Let's play with the height first. So this is going to be the width, okay? Here's the height. So we take away several blocks to make 16. So this is going to be 12. So now 13, 14, 15, 16. So now you can see this, okay? I hope this is on the camera. This is now 16 blocks, leaving behind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 for the height. Okay, so we have a 12, and we have an 8, and we have a 16. So this represents one cubic foot in terms of volume. So we take away from one to get the other. So what I'm saying is this could be the width, okay, at 12 inches. Now the height is going to be now 8 inches because the length is at 16 inches. So remember the episode that I did that in terms of having to make a chord, and the chord based on the length of the pieces? This is the same exact thing. You can make 1 cubic foot in terms of inches of the cuts of the pieces, but and there's many ways to do that. But if we're going to use standard measurement of length of firewood with 16 inches, this is how we're going to do it, like this. So I hope that makes sense for people who need a visual aid. So what I have been selling is more than a cubic foot. If I do the math, so if I take one plane and add it to the next one, it's going to be either 8 or 9 inches, more or less, or like 8.5 type thing. So what I have been selling is 16 inches by 12 inches by 9 inches, and that's going to be 1.28 cubic inches, okay? 1.728 cubic inches, and that equals 1 cubic foot, okay? That equals 1 cubic foot. That's what I should be selling. Sorry, that's what I should be selling. What I have been selling is 12 inches by 12 inches by 16 inches, and that is 1.33. That's over 1.25. Now, some bagging companies sell 1.25 bags. I'm pretty sure Northern Woodsman sells bags that are 1.25 cubic feet of bags. I know that at least at the time of this episode, Wolfridge's bagging system does not have a 1.25 bagging jig for their bagger. I think it's 1.75 and then a 1 cubic foot. If I'm wrong again, correct me, please, because I make mistakes. I'm only human. I make mistakes. So what I have been selling is even over the 1.25. I'm selling a whole bunch of firewood for dirt cheap. For dirt cheap. Let's do this, okay? Let's try to correct this, or I'll show you on here what it will look like corrected. Okay, let's try that first. All right, so yeah, again, this plane doesn't change. The horizontal, the width doesn't change at 12. The length is going to be at 16 with the length of the firewood, so we're going to change the height. Okay, the height. So we're gonna go 9. Okay, or let's just go 9, just to make sure that we have enough wiggle room, more or less, in there to give 1 cubic foot. So 9 is going to be here. Okay, measure over here on this side. 9 is going to be here. Okay, so we're going from the bottom here up to this line here. Okay, and I hope that you can see the red construction crayon here. Now, that may be a lot, we are giving away what, one, maybe like 3 to 4 sticks if we're going all the way to the top of firewood. Yes, that adds up, but I'm not too upset about this, and in fact, I'm humbled by it, because I'm glad that the people who watched the video and kindly pointed out that I was wrong, I appreciate you. Thank you. I thank you, because it's good to make mistakes and we all learn from it. So those of you who are starting out in firewood, let's get the math correct here, okay? Let's get the math correct so you know what you're doing and you feel confident when you're talking to potential customers that you know what you're talking about, so they want to buy from you. If you don't know what you're talking about, they may not take you seriously, and then they may not buy from you, right? So up to this mark here, up to this mark here. What I could do in theory, I could just lop these off, cut them off, or take these apart and cut new ones, and then I will have a 9 inches. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. If I wanted to go 8, then I just go down 1 inch here, 8 right here, and then that's even less wood. Okay, but I feel confident going at 9, and then I know that I'm selling more or less at 1 cubic foot of wood, the 1.7 whatever cubic inches of firewood. Okay, now there's gonna be gaps in there. Now, then that makes more sense in terms of stuffing the bags. Okay, stuffing the bags full of firewood. So let's try to. So let's do this. Let me demonstrate what it should look like for a true 1 cubic foot bundle of firewood, and then we will put that in a 1 cubic foot firewood bag that I was able to buy from Northern Woodsman, and we'll see how it looks compared to how I usually just like jam pack them full, which I guess now makes sense with the lady saying, hey, I get more firewood in bags than I do your bundle. So let me get prepped, and we will try to put some firewood in the new revamped jig. Here, let's demonstrate putting firewood in the jig and have it go to this point here. Okay, so, and I'm not doing this just to make a video. I think it's good that if we're gonna be selling something, that it's the actual measurement. Okay, the actual measurement of what we're selling, and not something incorrect. Now, in this case, I was selling more than what I was saying, so it's not that big of a deal. But I want to make sure that I'm right in what I'm selling for my customers wise, you know. So all is good, and I'm not accused of being a liar or whatever else. So as you can already tell, definitely less pieces are going to go in here. So right now, this piece is going to lay in like that, and it's more or less almost at that mark, like that. Let's put this piece in here, and it's going to be a little bit over. Let's go up with that one, see if that helps. So this is going to be at the top of this line, okay. Using my normal wood that I would for a bundle or a bag here. If I can do this, like that, so, and then maybe like that. No, that's not gonna work. That's over. Okay, so I need like one more stick. Let's go with this piece for now. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so placeholder. So you see the line. Okay, this is the 9 inches high, right? So now this is going to be our new true 1 cubic foot of firewood right here. Okay, so this is going to be it. So now this is my motivation, my push to make a new jig to show you all how to make this thing, because I think a few of you can't visualize this and then make it, whereas in my head I'm able to visualize something and then build it with wood. Metal, I can probably do the same thing, I just can't weld or weld very good. Anyway, so now that we have this true, we know this is now, by measurement and not guesstimation, a true cubic foot of firewood. Let's put this in a firewood bag and see how it looks. All right, so we have firewood bag with the sled in here. Put it in to the bag, and we'll see how this all fits. Now, and I see other channels, like I mentioned on the episode on Wednesday, the one that I'm trying to correct right now, is I see other people and they have the same firewood bags, and either they bought them from the woodsman, the same seller, or they went to another outfit or whatever. But they look like the same. They look like they're like the same exact firewood bags that I use, and whenever they fill them up, it's looser inside than what I usually fill them. So this is, I guess, one of the catalysts of wanting me to do this is like, why is it so different? And now I'm going to get that answer. I assume, I think, I hope, because my jig here is so much different. But then again, as I say this out loud to you all, I don't prepare a bundle of firewood in the jig as 1 cubic foot or 1 cubic foot and then transfer to the bag. I just fill up the bag directly from the firewood stack to the bag. So I guess that doesn't make sense in terms of why I would have more, but I think one of these pieces is kind of wonky. But even now, it's loose, but it's full, where I can't really put this last piece in, or maybe I could, but it would be pretty full. Obviously, you can test this, like I said before, you can test this several times, and you're going to get more or less, on average, the same results each time. So I take out the sled, and then I have my bag of firewood, and it's full. There's some gaps in there, but am I able to tie this now? Still not going to be able to tie it. All right, so I guess, so what does this prove? It proves that, hey, sometimes people are wrong. Some of the people on YouTube are wrong. I'm wrong, and I admit my mistake. And that's totally fine, like I said before. Now we know what a true cubic foot of firewood is in terms of having to measure it, okay? From the jig that I now need to modify or make a new one. And then what that looks like in a bag of firewood. So thank you for letting me know that I was incorrect. Now you all know the correct measurement. Again, we're going to go 12 inches on the horizontal plane. We're going to use a 16-inch length because that's what most firewood is going to be cut length as. And then to make sure that we are at that 1 cubic foot more or less mark, we're going to go up to 9 inches. 9 inches high, and then in doing so, not 8 inches, but 9 inches, make sure that you're giving the customer to make sure that you get that full cubic foot of volume, because there's going to be air gaps in here. Maybe your plane on top isn't level, so just do an even 9 inches that way to make sure that you have more or less 1 cubic foot. But you can go 12, 16, and 12, and have it be 1.33 cubic foot. You can give them that. You can make whatever jig you want to. But now that I know, and if you pointed out, thank you. The jig was wrong. It is what it is. It is what it is. But now that I'm talking about this, you probably don't want to hear me talk anymore. Anyway, let me sign off, and then you can go to the next video. But I want to check out something else with a 5-gallon bucket. So if you're interested in that, wait till the end of the episode. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you have any more ideas or questions, comments, leave them down in the comment section. But remember, life's too short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. Rock and roll. Stay safe. Keep cutting. Cheers. So for those of you who are staying around for the bonus footage, thank you for doing so. As I was talking about this, I was thinking, and because some people use a 5-gallon bucket when they're doing bags, and I think some like this, the bucket fits into the Wolf Ridge bagger or outside, I forget. But anyway, I remember 5-gallon bucket. So yes, this is from Costco. They have these at my local Costco in my hometown, and if you are familiar with Costco, with the Kirkland brand, or Kirkland is a city in my state, so just yeah, Costco is. I mean, it's Washington born. Anyway, we have this bucket, and I just want to try something real quick, just to see what's going on here. All right, so I want to see if this obviously. So I just want to check something here. So if a 5-gallon bucket can fit in a 1 cubic foot bag, okay, so that should be obvious, right here. But the volume. So and then I'm not going to calculate this. I'm going to ask Google or whatever how much cubic feet is within a 5-gallon bucket, and apparently it's 0.67 cubic feet. So just shy of half a cubic foot. So I guess that makes sense. Is as you take a 5-gallon bucket and you cut off the end. Just be careful. Sorry, you cut off the bottom, and then you slip the bucket inside the bag, right? So kind of like the very similar concept to the Wolf Ridge bagger, like this, right? And then you put bag. And then you put whatever pieces in here, and with the bottom out, then you just slide the bucket from the bag, leaving the bag with the firewood, right? So I guess that makes sense, but I was trying to figure out what I want to know is how do I measure the actual volume of the bag? And all I can think about is something that would compress and expand, that would make the bag circular and expand to its maximum, and then measure the circumference. My mind is blanking right now, but if you have any ideas of how to expand this bag so we can measure it, let me know, because this is bigger than what the 5-gallon bucket can do. But if you're wondering, or if you don't have a Wolf Ridge bagger, or you don't have one of these things, or you don't have a sled, okay, and you want to use a 5-gallon bucket, just know that I looked it up for you. Is 0.67 cubic feet in the bucket. So take a bucket and cut off the bottom and use that as your makeshift jig. So you put firewood in here and in the bag, and then when the bucket is full, take the bucket out, and then you add a few more pieces in the bag to make sure that it's a full 1 cubic foot or feet of firewood in your bag. I haven't used this with a bundle, but I think that using a bucket with the bottom cut off, I think, is a good idea. Again, there's other channels who have used buckets. I'm not going to use one now, but I just wanted to let you all know with extra footage, extra insight in there. Excuse me, scratch. But yeah, buckets can be used for firewood too. So now you know how much cubic feet are in here. Rock and roll. Thanks, folks. Cheers.